Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. We all know how it feels to love someone, to give, to hope, to trust. But what about when that love is met with unkindness, cruelty, or neglect? If you have ever asked yourself, why did they treat me so badly even though I loved them and showed them care? You are not alone. In this talk, we will try to understand the psychology behind such painful experiences because often it's not about you being unlovable, it's about dynamics, patterns, and inner rounds. So, now I would like you, if you guys haven't subscribed, just go and subscribe and like my channel so you guys can get latest updates. So, first of all, I would like to talk about expectations versus reality, what we hope for in love. Love is basic human need for connection, safety, acceptance, and validation. When we love and invest emotionally, time, we care, but we intuitively expect reciprocity, respect, kindness, and mutual growth. Especially in cultures, contexts where love is deeply valued, giving love may feel like the right thing, and you might assume love alone is enough to create a safe bond. Then gently shift. But what if the other person is unavailable or unwilling to meet those expectations? What if love on your part becomes a cover for deeper issues in them or a trigger for negative patterns? And when love turns toxic, patterns and dynamics are here you can introduce and explain several psychological relational mechanisms such as emotional abuse, manipulation, and unpredictable cycles. Sometimes people respond to love not with care, but with control. What begins as affection can morph into manipulation, belittling, criticism, or neglect. This is often called toxic love. A common pattern: initial idealization, love bombing, intense affection, compliments, promises, followed by devaluation, criticism, coldness, and possibly discard and neglect. Then we have intermittent reinforcement and emotional dependence. In many toxic or abusive relationships, warm, loving moments alternate unpredictably with cold, hurtful ones. The unpredictability causes the partner to cling and hoping for the good times again. The intermittent reward plus punishment can create a kind of emotional bonding or dependency, even if the relationship is harmful. Manipulation, guilt, and distortion of reality. A toxic partner may use tactics like guilt tripping, blame shifting, or minimizing of your feelings or experiences, often making you doubt yourself. Over time, this wears down your self esteem, self confidence, and sense of self worth, making you more dependent and more likely to tolerate mistreatment. While loving partners tend to say the psychology of the victim and giver. Now, low self esteem or self worth is sometimes people believe they don't deserve more, or fear that better isn't possible for them, so they accept mistreatment as normal or better than nothing. Fear of abandonment, loneliness, or being alone. The fear of losing the relationship, even if painful, it's painful or might feel scarier than being single. And hope for change or belief love can heal, especially if there were good moments, affection, love, bombing, promises, warmth. You may hold on to hope that person may return to loving version. That hope prolongs the cycle. And trauma bonds and learned relationship patterns. If someone grew up witnessing unstable relationships or experienced neglect, they may unconsciously gravitate toward familiar patterns, even if unhealthy, because they feel safe in their familiar pain. Now, the question is why some people hurt those who love them. And the psychology of toxic or abusive people or partner are it's not always about the victim. Sometimes the giver or abuser pattern reflects deeper problems like lack of emotional empathy and inability to truly connect. Some persons, often with narcissistic traits or disorders, may not realistically feel empathy. They might intellectually understand others' pain but lacks emotional experience, which diminishes their motivation to avoid causing that pain. Then idealization and object constancy issues. Some people are unable to see others as whole. As humans with strength and flaws, if they idolize someone once reality falls to match the ideal, they may devalue and mistreat. Need for control, validation, dominance over genuine connection. For some, relationships become more about fulfilling their own needs, admiration, control, dominance rather than mutual care. Love becomes a tool rather than a bond. Manipulation as coping and defense mechanism. th- They might have past trauma, fear of intimacy, and insecurity, so they maintain emotional distance or control by manipulating, devaluing, or emotionally abusing, even when receiving love. While not all abusers will have a diagnosed disorder, the pattern can arise from an unresolved issue, poor emotional regulation, or fear. Then the consequences of emotional and psychological impact are chronic emotional harm, repeated belittling, criticism, neglect, or manipulation hurts self esteem, sense of worth, ability to trust, identify, and self image, leaving long lasting scars. Confusion, guilt, and internal conflict. Because of mixed signals, love and abuse, the victim may doubt their own feelings, sanity, and the question if they are overreacting or imagining things. This confusion itself is damaging. And emotional dependence. Difficulty leaving, trauma bonding, and intermittent reinforcement can make leaving very hard emotionally, even when intellectually the person knows it's harmful. Long-term mental health concerns, anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, identity issues, difficulty trusting people, relationship avoidance, and fear of intimacy. And what you guys can do and a path to healing and self-protection is recognize the patterns. Being aware of emotional abuse, manipulation, unpredictability, ignoring your feelings, and guilt tripping, devaluation, etc., is the first step. Always give yourself priority. Always prioritize yourself. Always set boundaries, healthy boundaries. Okay. If we talk about like 50 years back, people were not that aware. Okay. And these days we have social media and we all are very well aware. So I want you all to be aware of in love what you guys have to do. What are the do's and don'ts? Okay. So to set healthy boundaries, understand that love doesn't mean sacrificing your dignity or mental health. It's okay, even necessary, to say no, to demand respect or step away. Then rebuild self worth and identity. Work on self esteem, self validation, self compassion. Seek support from friends, family, or a therapist as a psychologist and say you can empathize the importance of therapy, group therapy, and self reflection. Um, you guys know that the therapy is very, very important for anyone who is going through any trauma, any issues of life. So if you guys need therapy anytime, I'm always available for you. Okay, so don't feel alone. Then break the cycle of hope driven tolerance. It's natural to hope for change, but hope should not cost your peace, safety, or self respect. Recognize if the patterns repeat. Okay, and then heal from trauma, past wounds. And sometimes the attraction of toxic dynamics comes from the past trauma. Healing those wounds through therapy, self-reflection can help avoid repeating harmful patterns, okay? And then surround yourself with healthy relationships. Relationship based on mutual respect, empathy, and shared growth, which nourish rather than drain. And as final message, I would like to say love is meant to heal, nurture, and build. not to destroy, demean, or drain. If you gave your love, your care, your trust, but received pain instead, know this: the problem was not your love. The problem was the dynamics, not your heart. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to choose yourself. It's okay to rebuild. You deserve kindness, respect, and empathy. Not just love in words, but love in action. Your mental health, your self worth, and your peace. They matter more than staying in a toxic bond. Healing is possible, and you are worth of it. So, if you guys need therapy, any support, I'm 24 by 7 available for you. Just let me know. And do follow, share, subscribe my channel so that we can stay connected. See you soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye.